Hey everybody, it's Mentor's Mindset. Mental health struggles are not always loud. Sometimes they're quiet, subtle, almost invisible. But if we pay attention, we can see the signs and offer help before things get worse. In this video, I'm going to share 10 common sense approach to recognizing when someone's mental health is declining and things that are rarely talked about but are incredibly helpful. We all know someone who's going through something tough. Let's learn how to be there for them in a way that truly makes a difference. Spotting these subtle changes. You know how everyone has their own unique way of being? Like your best friend who always makes you laugh with their goofy jokes, or your coworker who's always calm, cool and collected, even under pressure. That's what I call their default mode. It's kind of their baseline personality. But here's the thing. When someone's struggling with their mental health, that default mode can shift. That friend who's always cracking jokes might suddenly become quiet and withdrawn, or that co-worker who's usually unflappable might start getting easily overwhelmed. If you notice a shift in someone's usual behavior that lasts for days or even weeks, it's worth checking in. Just a simple, "Hey, I've noticed you've been a bit quieter than usual. Is everything all right?" can mean the world to someone who's feeling lost and alone. Sometimes just knowing someone cares enough to notice is a huge relief. Recognizing the energy drain of mental struggle. Here's something important to remember. Mental health struggles don't always look like sadness. Sometimes they show up in how much energy someone has or doesn't have. Think about it. When you're feeling your best, you probably have more energy to do the things you love, right? But when you're struggling mentally, it's like your internal battery is constantly draining. You might notice this in others as sudden bursts of energy followed by periods of complete burnout. They might seem super productive 1 minute, then completely exhausted the next. If you notice someone running on empty, offer practical help. Even small gestures can make a big difference when someone's struggling to keep up. Instead of saying you seem tired, try something like, "Hey, I can grab those copies for you," or "Want me to order us some takeout so you don't have to cook tonight?" When overwhelm becomes impossible. We've all been there, that feeling of being completely swamped, like there just aren't enough hours in the day to get everything done. Now imagine feeling that way all the time. That's what it can be like for someone struggling with their mental health. They might start missing deadlines, forgetting appointments, or over-promising but under-delivering. Instead of getting frustrated or labeling them as unreliable, try a different approach. Offer support and understanding. You could say something like, "Hey, that deadline seems like a lot to handle right now. Want to break it down into smaller steps together?" Sometimes just having someone there to help them organize their thoughts and prioritize tasks can make a world of difference. Your willingness to help could be the lifeline they need to stay afloat. Reading the language of body and eyes. You know how sometimes you can tell how someone's feeling just by looking at them? Our bodies have a way of speaking volumes even when our words stay silent. And when it comes to mental health, body language can be a powerful indicator that something's not right. For example, someone who's usually very animated and engaging might start avoiding eye contact. Or they might fidget constantly like they don't know what to do with their hands. Instead of forcing them to talk, focus on creating a safe and comfortable space for them. If you're sitting across from them, move to sit beside them. Sometimes just being physically present without the pressure of direct eye contact can be incredibly comforting. Let them know that you see them, you hear them, and you're there for them, no matter what. Food, sleep, and the mind-body connection. We all know that eating well and getting enough sleep are important for our physical health, but they're just as crucial for our mental well-being. In fact, when someone's struggling mentally, their eating and sleeping habits are often the first things to change. Some people lose their appetite entirely, while others find comfort in food and end up overeating. Instead of commenting on their habits, try to make food and sleep more social and inviting. Instead of saying, "You're not eating enough," try, "Hey, I'm starving. Want to grab some lunch with me?" Or instead of, "You look tired," try, "I'm beat. I think I'm going to call it a night. Want to watch a movie and wind down." The key is to make them feel supported, not scrutinized. Decoding online behavior. In today's digital age, our online lives are often intertwined with our offline ones, and just like changes in real-life behavior can signal mental health struggles, so too can changes in our online behavior. For some, struggling mentally might lead to withdrawing from social media altogether. They might stop posting, liking, or commenting, choosing instead to disconnect from the digital world. If you notice a friend or loved one's online behavior changing, don't hesitate to reach out privately. A simple, "Hey, I haven't seen you around much online lately. Hope you're doing okay," can go a long way. It lets them know that you're thinking of them and that you're there for them, even in the digital space. Noticing when love feels lost. Think about the things you do when you're feeling good about yourself. Maybe you take extra time getting ready in the morning, or you make a point of cooking yourself a healthy meal. These little acts of self-care are about more than just looking good. They're about feeling good, about valuing and respecting ourselves. So when someone stops caring for themselves, it can be a sign that they're struggling to see their own worth. Maybe they stop showering regularly, or they let their appearance go. Instead of pointing out their lack of self-care, try inviting them to join you in activities that promote well-being. Instead of saying you should really get out more, try, "Hey, I'm going for a walk in the park, want to come?" Or instead of, "You need to take better care of yourself," try, "I'm getting a haircut this weekend, want to join me?" By inviting them to join you, you're not just encouraging healthy habits, you're reminding them that they're worthy of love and care from themselves and from others. Finding comfort in noise and silence. Have you ever noticed how certain sounds can affect your mood? Like how the gentle patter of rain can be calming, while the screech of brakes can be jarring? Well, when someone's struggling with their mental health, their sensitivity to sound can become heightened. Some people find solace in silence. They might crave quiet spaces where they can retreat from the noise and chaos of the world. Others, however, might find silence unbearable. They might need background noise music, podcasts, even just the hum of the refrigerator to drown out their own thoughts. The key is to be mindful of their preferences and adapt accordingly. These small adjustments might seem insignificant, but they communicate a powerful message, that you care about their comfort and well-being. Sparking meaningful conversations. We all have that go-to phrase, "How are you?" It's a social script, a way of acknowledging someone without really expecting a genuine answer. But when someone's struggling with their mental health, that question can feel loaded, even overwhelming. So instead of the usual, "How are you?" try something a little different. Ask open-ended questions that invite them to share at their own pace. Instead of, "How are you?" try, "What's been keeping you busy lately?" Or, "Have you seen any good movies or TV shows recently?" And if they do choose to open up, listen with your full attention. Sometimes, just having someone to talk to without judgment can be incredibly therapeutic. Responding to stress overload. We often associate depression with sadness, but sometimes it manifests as irritability. Think about it. When you're mentally exhausted, even the smallest things can feel overwhelming. So if someone's constantly snapping at others, getting easily frustrated, or overreacting to minor stressors, it could be a sign that they're struggling to cope. Instead of meeting their irritability with more negativity, try responding with empathy and understanding. Instead of saying, "What's wrong with you?" try, "You seem a bit stressed. Is there anything I can do to help? Or do you want to talk about it?" Remember, irritability is often a cry for help, a sign that someone's internal world is overflowing. By responding with kindness and compassion, you're creating a safe space for them to release some of that pent-up frustration and begin to heal. You don't have to be a therapist to notice when someone is struggling. It's the small, everyday moments that make the biggest difference. It's about seeing the subtle signs, listening with your heart, and offering support in whatever way feels right. Sometimes it's a simple check-in text. Other times, it's offering to lend a hand with a task, or simply sitting beside them in silence. These small gestures might seem insignificant, but they speak volumes. Let's normalize mental health conversations because no one should struggle alone. So let's wrap this up. Mental health struggles don't always look like what we expect. Sometimes they show up in forgotten messages, skipped meals, mood swings, or a shift in energy that's hard to explain. But if we slow down, observe with compassion, and respond with common sense, not judgment, we can be the difference between someone feeling alone and someone feeling seen. Remember, you don't need a psychology degree to care. Just pay attention, be kind, be present, and never underestimate the power of asking, "Are you okay?" and meaning it, because the truth is, noticing is caring, and caring consistently could change a life. Let's create a world where mental health is everyone's business. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe.